Hello, ladies and gentlemen, Deja Vu here, bringing you the fourth set, the losers match from this MST Survivor Tournament Group 10. This is going to be Action, the Zerg, and Jangbi, the Great Protoss. And this should be very, very fun. Jangbi better win. This would be very, very depressing for me if Jangbi went down 0-2, losing to Mind and Action, who are both good players, granted, but that would be very, very sad for me should Jangbi lose to both of them and not advance at all into the MSL. It's been too long since we've had him go deep into a Star League, and it's time that he returns. Jangbi, yeah, obviously my favorite player, so I'm somewhat biased. We're gonna have, this is gonna be Empire of the Sun again. They're gonna start at cross positions, Action in the bottom right in yellow, the Zerg, Jangbi in the top left in purple, the Protoss, and not liking his monitor there, he's like shaking it. Something about it just wasn't quite right. Probably needs to degauss it, that'd be my guess. So we'll see what we've got in store for this game. I expect that Action will go for either 3 or 4 Hatch Hydra. That's been something that Jangbi has really struggled with in recent times. He really skims on cannons. You watch his games, and he never throws down extra cannons. Ever. He sees 4 Hatch Hydra or 3 Hatch Hydra coming his way, and he'll try to survive off of like 2 or maybe 3 cannons. I'm just like, Jangbi, throw up 6, please. And he just refuses. He wants units. Jangbi cuts corners like nothing else. He cuts so many corners, and if he ever figured, it's what Jangbi does. He cuts a lot of corners. A lot of the great pro gamers do. Unfortunately, he's just lost his game sense isn't quite where it used to be. His scouting, for some reason, just something is off for him over the last year. He hasn't been able to effectively cut corners like he used to be, and be a great pro gamer. It does look like we're gonna have a 12. No, just looking for a proxy. Kind of weird. Looks like we had have an overpull going on here, and this drone just looking very, very confused. That's a very confused little drone right here. Scott, I don't understand. That drone is like, where is it going? And now it's what is it doing? That is one messed up drone. And Fake's putting down the hatchery, and now where's it? I don't even know what's going on. Jamie does scout this out, just scout out the overpull. He's already got a forge up, so he'll have a cannon in time. And from the positions that they start in, he'll probably even have time to get the Nexus down and maybe even a gateway to block and for his cannon. And finally, Action taking his natural expansion. Oh, actually putting down 2 photon cannons for Jangbi, so not trying to cut this corner. It looks like that was maybe actually a 9 pull. So he's not going to be able to cut any corners. He's going to have to put down 2 photon cannons. So he will be safe. This is going to be the most photon cannons I've seen from Jangbi at the beginning of a game in forever. No matter what comes his way, he generally puts down 1. And then just tries to survive off of that. But he'll be very well protected this time. And Jangbi's year-long slump, or maybe year-and-a-half-long slump, however long it technically has been, needs to come to an end for me. It would be wonderful if he does. And the Zerglings come in here, a couple of them getting picked off by the cannons, but no luck, not going to be able to go anywhere. To give you an idea of how awesome Jangbi was back when that was going on, when he was on his game, as long as his slump has been, as poorly he has played for so long, he's still over 50% in every single matchup. That's how good he was. It's actually very, very impressive when you think about it, considering how long his slump has been. For him to still have that kind of a record is still pretty darn good. So if he can just get back on board, it would be a good day for me. And we have the 3rd hatchery already taken by Action as well. Will we see a 4th? Will we see a? We just got the extractor as well, so finally going to start getting some gas for Action. And what kind of build will we be seeing? That's the question here. Will it be Hydras? Will it be possibly Mutas? Probably not. Probably not Mutas, but it is possible as well. And for Jangbi with this probe, just continuing to get the scout on, going to be a very big nuisance to Action. And actually microing this pretty well and scouting out what's going on. I think it really wants to see if there's a tech building thrown down. The problem for him is that Action can just throw it down in this natural expansion. He would never know. But he's probably going to go try and check the natural expansion at some point pretty soon, just to see if if he can catch the Hydraless Den going off for 3-hatch Hydra or something like that. That would be really good for him. But just for now, just keeping it alive and just being a big nuisance with this probe. This probe will not die. This probe just continuing to live. And look at that! Dodging out of all of the traps that Action is setting, not letting him set any traps. And now Jamie's checking the natural expansion, wondering where is the tech building. Nothing's morphing to layer. There is no... What is going on? Jamie just kind of very, very curious, I imagine, at this point. What is am I actually fighting against? He's going to go scout out this third base. He's going to go know that that's coming. Maybe produce a few Zealots and send them in. Actually, it doesn't even look like Jangbi's produced a Zealot. Look at this. Jangbi's not even producing a Zealot, not blocking off. He's had that probe in there for so long that he knows that there's no, like, Zergling attack coming in his way. Actually, it looks like it is 3-hatch Hydra, and you think he actually did see that Hydra's dead. For some reason, I just didn't notice when the probe was around this. So he should be able to see these Hydras coming his way. We didn't even have a layer morphing, so this is going to be straight up 3-hatch Hydra. We have a couple Zealots actually out for Jamie and the +1 upgrading. So Jamie should be prepared for this. He should see this. This is straight up 3-hatch Hydra. Very much all in. He's going to have to do some damage. Hydra or Action is. And we'll see how much he's able to do. We do have a third photon cannon coming up, thank God. Maybe he could use another one or two pretty soon as well. We do have a second and probably a third or fourth gateway coming up as well for Jangbi. He's going to need them. He's going to need the forces to counter what's coming his way. Doesn't have any Corsairs out quite yet. And one of the Hydras almost going down right there. Going to have to micro that to the back and try and protect it. So a little bit poor there by Action, allowing that to happen. And the Corsair is out, going to go in and try and start peeking at some Overlords. And what that'll do is not only will it hurt the Psy, will it hurt the vision of Action, but it'll also force him to keep some Hydralists at home. I mean, he can't afford to put down Spore Calling, but it will force him to keep some Hydralists at home with his Overlord groups, and that will definitely be an advantage for him. And if they are able to pick off some Overlords, or Action clumps those Overlords too much, DTs will suddenly become a lot more effective. We do have the Templar Archives up, so I think there's going to be a high potential to see a DT push coming. Or DT attack coming. The Hydras came in there, picked off 1 photon cannons before being pushed away. We do have 5 Zealots there still defending, and some more photon cannons being warped in. So far, Jangbi looking pretty good in defending against this. It doesn't look like there are enough Hydras to bust that. There are a lot of cannons, a couple more cannons coming up, so Jangbi not cutting corners with this against the 3-hatch Hydra this time. Not going with 2 or 3 cannons. He's throwing up a couple more. Looks like he's going to be up to 5 or 6 pretty soon. So thankfully, that is a good sign. And Jangbi's still scouting out with this Corsair, wants to know exactly what's coming his way, if there is a Spire or if there is a lair. I think he knows, but he just wants to be sure. Information is always good in StarCraft. Any information you can get is good. Jangbi probably waiting for speed on these Zealots before he tries to save this Forge, and I think the Forge is going to go down before +1 finishes. We do have speed Zealots out, and Action well in retreat right now, and because there are a good group of speed Zealots produced, and these Hydras have no upgrades. Remember, there's no evolution chamber, so this is a straight up Hydra build with no upgrades, and this is going to be now that Jangbi has fended it off rather easily. The Forge does go down, so that is somewhat painful for Jangbi, but it was a pretty easy defense against this. He's going to have a pretty good army that's going to be developing. He's going to be able to mix in either DTs or High Templars. I imagine, no, I don't know actually. I thought it was going to be DTs if he was able to pick off a bunch of Overlords, but he hasn't been able to yet, so maybe he will go back to Overlord, or to High Templars. A couple Zealots just streaming across the map, kind of willy-nilly. They're going to die for nothing, unfortunately, and a couple more are in retreat coming back home. Yeah, he is going to have High Templar, 3 High Templar, and he knows that Hydra, keep calling him Hydra, that Action doesn't have the gas to do a muted tech switch, which would be required to snipe the High Templar. So these High Templars should be very, very effective. There's just no way that Action's going to be able to afford to keep producing the Hydralist ground army that he needs, and then also have the Mutalist to do the High Templar pickoff. So good position for Jangbi right now. A couple of Zealots going to catch this Hydra and kill it at the 9 o'clock position. There's actually another one over there, but I don't think Jangbi has no idea it's there. We do have the lair completed and a spire on the way, and Jangbi with this Corsair has just continued to get full scouting information. He's seen I think he's seen all the hatcheries that go down. I think he's seen every single building for action as it's built. So this is a huge advantage for Jangbi right now, having basically perfect information on his opponent. With just this single Corsair, very nice position for him, and he's gonna be able to time his breakout. He's got a lot of that's a lot of High Templar, Jangbi. 5 High Templar. This could be a very fun game, folks. If he decides to do a blanket storm, one of his patented Jangbi blankets, that would be awesome, and just absolutely destroy action. That would be so cool to see, because that is a lot of High Templars. We have like no Dragoons yet. We don't even have very many Zealots worked in. Some Zerglings can at least scout out all the High Templars. We do have a decent group of Zealots being developed. It looks like maybe a control group of Zealots, but he's probably going to want to mix in some Dragoons or a lot more Zealots into this army. Zealot High Templar will work against Hydralisk, but you know, a mixed force is always good when you're playing StarCraft. And it looks like Jangbi's actually going to go for the lower 3 o'clock expansion. And, Hydra's looking to try and pick off these High Templars. How much success are they going to have? They get one. They might get a second. No, they only get the 1 High Templar. No, they do get the second High Templar, but there's still 3 left. Still a lot of Storms left. And Lurker Eggs here on the ramp are going to stop this attack right there. Jangbi's well on top of it, though. He's already got the robotics facility up, so he'll have observers out in time to deal with the lurkers, provided they don't get sniped by Scourge and these overlords or Hydralisks. He will have them available. And Jangbi kind of in retreat right now. The number of Hydralisks for action is actually quite large. I think it might even be too much for the storms he has. He probably does have 6 storms or so right now with those High Templar, but still, it's going to be a risky fight if he decides to fight it. We do have probably cannons going up in both mineral lines, and some storms did go off. I don't know exactly how many died. It looked like there's a good clump of death there. So it looks like a bunch of the High Templars did get picked off, but a bunch of the Hydras also went down to the emergency last call storms that went down. So Mutalisk being produced here, but only a couple High Templars left. If Jangbi just goes with a big Dragoon force with his Zealots and doesn't really produce too many more High Templars, this could be pretty funny or pretty impressive, just how the army composition switches turn his way if there's nothing for the Mutalisk to snipe. And as long as there's enough Dragoons in there, and he's able to keep a couple of High Templars alive for just a little bit of storm, he will be in a good spot. The Mutalisks are going towards the natural expansion, going to try and check out the rally point, and they are going to catch this High Templar. Will get a storm off, not even going to get a storm off before dying. To these Mutalisks, and those Mutalisks can't really go too far in because there are all those cannons that were produced, and there is a big blob of Dragoons as well. So Jangbi really turning into this Dragoon build, and actually he's going to blow up his own Stargate. Not feels like he doesn't need it anymore, I guess. Not going to produce any more Corsairs, and he's going to retreat there. Mutalisk darting in there and picking off another High Templar, so this is a little bit annoying for Jangbi, losing mostly all of his storm right now to these Mutalisks. Every time the Mutalisks dart in, though, they are losing health, usually losing 1 or 2 of their number, so that is important. Once I don't know, I can't tell how many exactly Mutalisks are in there, but once he loses enough, he won't be able to one-shot High Templar anymore with his clump, and that will be an important spot, because that means those Mutalisks will have to do a double dart in, or will have to stay there longer, and that will be troublesome. And a DT going to the upper 3 o'clock position, and I suspect that this has been scouted out because there are a bunch of Hydras in the area. And why is there a ambulance outside my door? Holy shit. What the hell? Okay, sorry about that. There was an ambulance across the street. Uh-oh. I don't know what happened. The ambulance just left, so I guess someone got taken to the hospital. I'm not really sure exactly what happened there. Yeah, sorry about that. I'm just still looking out my window a little bit. Yeah, okay. Sorry. I'm a little flustered by that. You see an ambulance across the street. It's not exactly an everyday occurrence, so kind of was trying to figure out what was going on there. Mutalisk coming in here again. This is actually a pretty huge army for Jangbi. Try and pick up the High Templar. Looks like they picked off 1. So only 1 High Templar left. Probably was 1, maybe 2 storms at this point. And another High Templar going to get picked off. Jesus, Jangbi losing a lot of High Templar now to these Mutalisks at this point. I really thought with the number of Dragoons that he'd be able to defend against this a little bit better, but has not been able to really stop this. He does have the third base up, which is very good for him. He's going to help him, but in terms of his eco, looks like Zerglings are going across the left side of the map. It looks like they're going to go on the attack to try and break that third base. And Jangbi coming in here, there's no Scourge to stop this Observer, so this Observer is going to give all the sight needed to kill off these Lurkers. And this should be, I mean, there's a possibility here for a good attack for Jangbi, depending upon how the reinforcements come in there, just because the Observers are still alive. Looks like most of the Lurkers have gone down. Here come the Mutalisks, and they do pick off one of the Observers. Is there another one? Is there another Observer for Jangbi? No, there is not. So that's a huge snipe there for Action, able to take down that Observer. There is another Observer over to the side if he can bring that into play, but looks like he doesn't want to yet. Gonna actually catch this force for Action out in the open, and this is gonna be a bad spot for Action. Action's gonna lose a couple of Lurkers as well as some Hydra, so not able to do. That was really good for Jangbi, able to catch that force and deal some damage that way. Very nice for Jangbi. Even though the attack was fizzled, he does have most of his army still alive. Still a very, very large army, and still a very effective army. And Jangbi just going on the offensive here. Look at these 1/1 upgrades on the Lurker Hydralisk. And big storm going off all over those Lurkers. Does he have another? He does have another storm, so all those Lurkers are highly damaged right now. Those are highly damaged, those Lurkers. And he's got another storm going off all over those Lurkers, so Jangbi slaughtering those Lurkers that were coming in for the big pincer attack. And that is the massive amount of army that Action has, and a lot of Dragoons are left. There are some High Templars left as well, a bunch of Zealots. So this is a very large army for Jangbi that's still alive. This will not get cleaned up by Zerglings. A lot of times on the attacks, you're just for Zerg players, you're just trying to kill enough that there's just Dragoons left or something where you can just go in there and stream Zerglings in and clean it up. That is not going to happen here. Action forced to GG. Jangbi with some very well-timed storms there at the end, and well-played game by Jangbi. Action looking a little bit off, looking that 3-hatch Hydra break did not really do anything, and at that point Action was just playing catch-up and wasn't able to do so. So Jangbi gonna win here. Action getting knocked out. Jangbi's gonna go to the final match. He's gonna have a chance against Ruby to advance to the MSL. So here we go. This is gonna be a chance for Jangbi to advance into the MSL. I don't even know when the last. I would not be surprised if it's been a couple MSL since he's even gotten in them. If he's gotten in them, he got knocked out very, very early. So here's a chance though for Jangbi. I'll see you guys all in the next set. It's gonna be the final match, Jangbi and Ruby.